Welcome to Wellness is a Way of Life, the podcast for female leaders seeking sustainable energy, clarity, and confidence. I'm Megan Swan, your guide on a journey to mastering wellness as an integrated part of your life. Let's explore personalized wellness strategies that truly resonate with who you are. Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 3, season 6, and I'm excited. I've got so much energy, undercurrent energy, just stirring and waiting to be released. I wanted to do a little bit more of a personal update episode. So I'm going to tell you about the 5 certifications that I've been quietly working on over the last 6 months, the graduation retreat that I just got back from in Palm Springs, spilling all the tea there, and just telling you a little bit more of what I've been up to, what I have coming in the future, the near future. Let's talk about the end of 2024 and just give you a little bit more insight to what I've been doing lately. Namely, successfully moved my whole family to another country, new home, new schools, new culture, new climate, new red tape, which is feeling, safe and predictable and amazing. New rules, learning to drive again in Canada and feeling at home in that sense. I think I'm almost there. And honestly, we're here and we're loving it. I'll just give you a little bit of an idea. We chose to maintain our home still in Mexico. We are renting here in Calgary, Alberta, and we found a home in an area that is close to the schools that we wanted the kids to be in, and it just feels good. I saw the rental, fortunately, back in February, and the owners were very like-minded, and it was a quick decision. And it was on my vision board. I visioned a blue door, and it has a blue door. So don't not pay attention to these little whispers the universe gives you, these little random imagination ideas or thoughts that come across your mind. I invite you to pay more attention. Just maybe do the experiment for a couple months and see what happens. Note random things down, or if you're more of a visual person, you like to make it more fun, open a Pinterest board and just kind of start gathering random thoughts that come across your mind and create a vision board of sorts, but you don't need to call it that. So back to the certifications I've been working on. It just kind of all happened at once. I was planning this year to do some sort of certification in the realm of addiction and alcohol-free living. I probably will go back and still do the one I was considering before this program came across my radar. But I chose this program because honestly, it gave me so many new tools and modalities, and then gave me internationally recognized certifications in types of coaching and modalities that I was already doing because it was instinctive to helping my clients shift their habits in a way that is long lasting. But also I really did it to join a community. So there were 30 incredible badass women and 1 brave man who make up this community. We're all alcohol free, some of us more recently than others. So the certifications, just to get that out of the way, are these 5. Alcohol-free life coaching, mindset coaching, success coaching, neuro-linguistic programming, and hypnosis. So I had already been approached earlier this year, I believe, to rep for a self-hypnosis app. And honestly, I don't really like these relationships oftentimes, or, it's not something I seek out. But once I tried the app myself, and I was in the stage where I was really stressed with the move and, making sure we had all of our ducks in a row and weren't going to forget anything and all the paperwork, that I found that I was sometimes struggling with sleep, and they have an insomnia one. So long story short, I did this self-hypnosis program within the app, and I really found it helped. I suggested to a few clients. They thought it was life-changing as well. So I brought it in as a tool that I recommend to clients, basically. But I didn't feel like I had the background to conduct a hypnosis session. Honestly, that wasn't even on my radar. So I was super excited when that was offered as part of this program. Probably not something I would have sought out, like I said, personally. And then the neuro-linguistic programming is something that I had read a lot about and understood the power of it. It's basically mindset work that works at the subconscious level, really understanding the way that you talk to yourself on a subconscious level, or the way that your brain works in filing certain situations or triggers away, and you just have this default reaction which you're not conscious of. Really getting to the nitty-gritty to help you overcome limiting beliefs or things that might be holding you back because they're just this unconscious default subconscious mode that you have created over the years based on how you were brought up and your experiences in life and all that. So it was this perfect mix of certifications. The mindset and success coaching I've honestly been doing for a long time in terms of using all sorts of tools to help people shift their mindsets, really help people shift into abundant mindset, growth mindset, things that really are essential and key for entrepreneurs to be astute at doing. And then success coaching, I've been confidence and success coaching for multiple clients over the years, just really helping them find clarity and a deeper sense of confidence around their pivot or shift or any sort of major life changes or change in career or just seeking a new role or asking for a raise, like all these things that kind of shake our confidence a little bit. And the alcohol-free life coaching. So this is not something I'm going to be focusing on entirely. However, over the last 6 years that I've been alcohol-free, I've really attracted clients that already have it on their radar to consider. Like maybe the relationship I have with alcohol or had with alcohol in my 20s and 30s is not the same anymore. Like maybe it's not serving me in the same way that it did in university or at the beginning of my career or whatever, or before becoming a mom. And so I've been integrated into my coaching for a long time as under the sort of one of many everyday toxins that are completely normalized that we rely on for energy, for decompressing, for stress management. The list is endless, really, of the things that we rely on that aren't necessarily serving us in the way that we like to think they are. But I deeply, deeply, profoundly believe like quitting alcohol is life-changing. Like it just expanded my energy, my well-being, my sense of self, my self-trust, my sense of integrity, personal sovereignty, my ability to learn new things, to go into environments that, previously I wouldn't even have considered, and just like rock solid confidence is what I've built up over the last 6 years. And I know there's many tools that are involved in that, but I know one key factor was removing that layer, which for me was this ongoing, very subtle, soft cycle of shame and not feeling confident about myself because I felt like I had to make up for some sort of non-ideal behavior from the night before or whatever. And then even just on a physical level, like it not allowing me to get as deep a sleep and it's not allowing me to recover fully. And life-changing. So I incorporate it into my coaching. I will continue to do so. It feels good to have these official certifications behind me now as I'm moving into this next chapter, which is focusing on female founders, either in the ideation stage, if you're looking to start a business and you have an amazing idea, but are really no idea how to get started as an entrepreneur. I help women through that stage with wellness-aligned business coaching. I help you build the systems, the structures, the SOPs or the standard operating procedures, the business plan, this whole strategy, and in a way that aligns with you taking really good care of yourself at the same time. So being mindful of the ways that you want to keep your personal wellness as a priority. Now, I would argue any sort of entrepreneur and leader, this is a non-negotiable. You need energy in order to build a business, to generate revenue, to consistently meet sales expectations. If you're in the boat of female founders that are in, more of a startup environment, seeking funding, whatever series that is, it is a long marathon of a game, of a sport, if you will. And you need consistent energy and focus, and you also want to have some energy in your tank at the end of the day to show up in the other aspects of your life, as in with your family members, with your partner, maybe with your children. And so all this means that it is a non-negotiable. Like, you need to invest in your well-being in tandem with building your business. Otherwise, you're either going to be completely burned out and sick by the end of it, or you're just not going to make it to the end of the race. So, in an interest in gaining a deeper understanding of this entire investment process and the types of stressors that these female founders are going through, I thought it was perfect timing to start dabbling in impact and angel investing myself. So I took a few courses. I've got involved with a few angel networks. Investing in small numbers at this stage of the game, something that is, not a stretch for me, but allows me to gain access to these, roundtables and forums and conferences to really understand the depth of everything involved and understand the process of due diligence, both the due diligence that myself as an investor would be doing into a startup, and that the startup should be doing in terms of understanding whether they really want to form a deep relationship with an investor, like it's a marriage of sorts. So I'm personally fascinated by this whole process, and I won't go too much into it, but a big part of my future and the bigger vision of this empire that I'm building leans more towards the investment side of things, always with a key strong thread around wellness of the CEO and the founder, and then also the wellness culture that she or they are building into their company culture. It's in tandem. It goes hand in hand. And I truly believe, like, when we have more capital in the hands of women, we're going to have a better society. We're going to have stronger communities. And then at the end of the day, the other essential piece here is women are a better investment. We're more efficient with money, 36% better ROI on every dollar invested into a female-led enterprise. So it's not it's not a charitable move to invest in women. It is a wise business decision. So you're now in season 6 of Wellness as a Way of Life. I cannot believe this is like 190th some episodes that I've recorded over the last several years. It feels really good. And I'll just give you like the women that I've already recorded interviews for this season. I mean, unbelievable. I'm just so excited at the caliber of guests that are coming on the podcast and the quality of the conversations. And like I said, there's this underground fire stirring in my belly, so much going on. And yeah, I'm in the process of creating a new group program. I'm also, sidebar, something I was doing quite a bit in my spare time over the summer was getting caught up on the editing of my book, and we're almost there. December is, I don't have an exact date, but December publication date. Honestly, it's been so grounding and also freeing to to trust that this process has happened as it's needed to happen. Because when I wrote the 33 chapters, which inevitably are probably going to be more chapters, shorter chapters, it's going to be packaged more beautifully than I left it off when I, first wrote it, the original manuscript. It has been a journey, and time has allowed me the insight and the wisdom to really do it justice, to tell my story and paint the picture as to how exactly I got to my expertise and philosophy in the wellness space. And it's really going to be something I'm so proud of. So it just feels good to know that I wouldn't, at one point, I say all this because I know so many women who are dying to have their book out in the world. And from the beginning, my publisher was just so adamant, like, the book will come out when it needs to come out. And also, like, it could come out years later and it would be fine. Like, it's this sense of urgency that you need to get it into the world. She doesn't use the birthing, but I would. This, you have this urgency that you have to birth it into the world. Like, it's sort of like burning need to get it out. And yeah, I think there's just so much grounded wisdom that's taken place, knowing and trusting that, this sense of urgency around creating something. There's like two ways of doing things. It really depends on what you're creating. But this amazing course I was taking with a publisher out of the UK, his whole philosophy is, it's a legacy of sorts. And, sidebar, you can always republish your book and like rewrite parts of it that you don't like. But really, you just want to do a sound job the first time. And, it's just this thing you're putting out into the world. And so you don't want to feel rushed. You kind of like want to sit with it. And I think that's like a beautiful analogy of us coming into fall season. So for me, it's two competing energies. One, I've always felt aligned before I knew that's, the end of August, beginning of September is actually the spiritual new year. For me, it's always just been like, I've always loved learning and going back to school and just getting back into this routine. Like, to me, it's like this up energy. Now as a mom, it's like kids back to school. I get to focus on my thing and not feel guilty about working on what I want to work on. Also helps. But it's really just this excitement. It's like I honored myself and took some time off and stepped away from what I was working on in the spring. And I'm usually doing some sort of work over the summer, but not in the same intensity. September becomes this sort of push season. Like, what am I birthing out into the world? What am I learning? Who am I meeting? Where am I going? And it's just felt like that. Oh, full circle. We could get back to, quickly, I'll tell you about my incredible experience in Palm Springs last weekend. Oh, it was so exciting. So I got to celebrate with these 31 individuals. It was, I don't think actually all 30 were there, but it was like upwards of 25 of us, mostly women, one amazing, cool, brave man who was in this program, all alcohol-free, all just blown away by how much better our lives are living alcohol-free. Like, sharing that thread and going into a weekend where it's all about celebration and, partying essentially, and just getting excited about a stocked mocktail fridge and, still dancing and like jumping full clothed into the pool and just being ourselves and knowing that everyone's on that level and appreciating that level and like appreciating that we're all going to deeply remember every aspect of the evening. And not everybody had the degree of problems that, I will say I had in terms of blacking out or, not really remembering or misbehaving or, doing really inappropriate things or things that I felt really sad about the next day. A lot of these women just were kind of stuck in, this is just what everybody else does. Like, this is what we just do. It's just like so socially accepted. And, there was one woman from Australia. There's a couple other women that, live as expats in other parts of the world. There were two of us Canadians, but most attendees or graduates of the program were American. And, it's just a part of the culture. Like, whether it's the mummy wine culture or, other people were in different industries where it's additional part of their work, quote unquote, team building, socializing, that types of things. And yeah, it just felt so good. So for me, I was looking forward, like for myself, to have that mommy away from everyone for the weekend, a little something for me. I was looking forward so deeply to meeting these women in person because what I loved about this course of many things is it required us to do many, many practicums. So we're constantly connecting with one another and practicing these new modalities and techniques on each other. And, got a lot of constructive, valuable feedback in the process, and ultimately builds your confidence in, and then you see how these things can be so impactful. Because even when we're doing it with our peer who knows exactly what you're doing, they still have a breakthrough. Like, the work is life-changing. It's incredible. So just celebrating all of us together that we now have these 5 incredible modalities, certifications under our belt, to integrate into our coaching, integrate into our offers, integrate into our businesses and our lives, like even using ourselves, of course. It was just like such amazing energy. And then we started like a bit of a business mastermind. Honestly, I signed up for the program for the first 6 months were these certifications, and now there's like another 4 months of this business mastermind. And for the business mastermind part, it was this incredible boost in that I really walked away feeling like, one of my peers and I were talking about how, it was kind of just like the kick in the ass that you needed. Like we know all these things. Some of them were maybe slight tweaks or key, I don't want to say hacks, but, areas to focus on that maybe I hadn't exactly been doing in the same way. So in general, super helpful and enlightening. But ultimately, it really left me feeling like the whole weekend, like, wow, I am so ready to host an event like this. Like I could have been the one hosting this. I am at this level. I am at this level of expertise. And yeah, it just got me excited for, a bunch of things that I have already planned coming into 2025, and more than likely, well, not more than likely, let's be cautious here, potentially might be launching before the end of the year. So I've blabbered on for 20 minutes. I guess the takeaways are: know when you need to pull back and focus on certain things in your life so that you have the energy to keep going. Like, you can't do it all. There are phases, there are seasons, there are times of your life when you're focusing on different things. So for me, it was really important that I pull back and being, creating content and showing up in a lot of ways in my business. I've just focused on really deeply serving the existing clients I had over the summer while I was solo parenting and moving countries and unpacking and like trying to outfit a new house and all the things. So, and editing my book. So it all felt really good, and it had allowed me to be now in this super energized phase, looking forward to coming into the next or the last quarter of 2024 with big new energy, ideas, and a sense of clarity about how important the work that I do is. Like, I'm doing life-changing work and my clients know it, and I am just so excited to positively impact the lives of more women, particularly women that are building these businesses that have a better future in mind, allowing me to have double impact and the ripple effect. It's just so empowering. It's so exciting. And thank you again for being here with me on this journey. Love to hear from you. If you really enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend that you think might resonate with what I'm saying. Sending you big love and optimal wellness. Thanks for tuning in to Wellness is a Way of Life. Are you ready to make wellness a natural part of your routine? Let's stay connected. Go to meganswanwellness.com. Until next time, live well and thrive.